visitors, our media partners especially, and also welcome to all of the Shell employees. Thank you very much for joining us today for the unveiling of the art installation for the fight against malaria. Now, safety plays a very important role in all of our lives, so may we please remind everybody to go to the assigned evacuation area or disperse in case of emergency. So if you didn't get the first sign, the designated evacuation area is at the other side of the Finance Center by 25th Street. Okay? Now, to the important stuff. The reason why all of us are here this morning. Malaria was once one of the gravest threats to the public. People from the affected provinces were afflicted with this once unknown illness, causing over 50,000 deaths in Palawan alone back in 1999. But through the Department of Health, the Palawan government, and Pilipinas Shell Foundation, their mission to fight against malaria through proper education, support, and facilities has resulted to a 90% drop in cases over the last 20 years since the beginning of the program. The infections presence in the country has been reduced to just 3 provinces, but these last 3 are proving to be the most challenging. Now today, we are here to stand in solidarity with those who remain to be afflicted and to discuss the way forward so we can meet the 2030 deadline. Now with us here are some very important people without whom today would not be possible, so I'd like to take the time to recognize and acknowledge them. So as I call out their names, please don't forget to show them some love as well. All right? So here this morning we have 2 Pilipinas Shell Foundation directors and former country chairman. Everybody please, let's hear it for Mr. Cesar Buenaventura and Mr. Oscar Reyes. Also here is PSFI's Executive Director, Mr. Sebastian Quiñones Jr. A big warm welcome as well to Pilipinas Shell's country coordinating team that is led by the President and CEO, Mr. Cesar Romero. Let's also acknowledge Vice Governor of Palawan, Mr. Denny Socrates, and World Health Organization's Philippine Medical Officer on Malaria, Vector-borne, and Parasitic Diseases, Dr. Gauri Loku Galapati. Now, to share with us a few opening remarks on Shell's mission to be a partner in nation building to the Philippines, everybody please join me in putting your hands together for Mr. Cesar Romero.
Thank you very much. Very pleasant good morning to everybody. Vice Governor Socrates, Dr. Gauri, to our friends and partners in nation building, a very pleasant good morning to everybody. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this occasion because this is indeed something very special, not just for Pilipinas Shell Foundation, but actually for all of the Shell companies in the Philippines. It gives me great pride to welcome you to this occasion because it signifies something that's very important for us. What gives me great pride in this event is over and above the accomplishments and the success itself, which has been, the numbers of which have been quoted earlier. But there are actually 2 other elements that make me very proud of this accomplishment. The first one is the manner with which we have achieved it. We have achieved it through strong cooperation between multi-sectors of society, through Pilipinas Shell, through the Department of Health, through the community, through the Global Fund, through each and every person in the affected areas of malaria. The second thing that makes me equally proud is what actually the accomplishment represents. It actually represents what the Filipino can do. It represents that the Filipino can achieve huge things, seemingly unimaginable things, if we all work together, working in the same direction, exerting the same effort, deploying whatever resources we have to do something that is seemingly impossible. So on this note, last year we celebrated our 150th year, including also the 37th year of our foundation. And this year, we are celebrating 20 years of our battle against malaria. Very successful indeed. Looking forward to making it even more successful and completely eliminating malaria in the Philippines by 2030. On this note, I would just like to call somebody who has been very, very instrumental in this journey, not just the movement against malaria, but the whole journey of Shell in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please give me a warm welcome to Mr. Cesar Buenaventura. Cab, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Cesar. Vice Governor Socrates, the other Oscar Reyes, one of our trustees, fellow Shell men and women. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this celebration of our fight against malaria. It's been one of the cornerstones of our programs in the Shell Foundation. And I'm sorry that the governor is not here, but of course, our vice governor is here to represent him. Let's give him a warm welcome. Vice Governor.
Mr. Chairman Cesar Romero, Chairman Emeritus Cesar Buenaventura, Sir Oscar Reyes, Dr. Gowrie of the World Health Organization, Madam Marvi Trudeau, our own Palawan representative, Shell. On behalf of our beloved Governor Jose Chavez Alvarez and the provincial government of Palawan, it's my honor and pleasure to be with you all this morning at this very important event. And I actually have a letter from Governor JCA. It is dated February 11 and addressed to Mr. Cesar Buenaventura as founding chair of Pilipinas Shell Foundation Inc. And allow me to read the text of the letter. Dear Mr. Buenaventura, greetings from the provincial government of Palawan. On the occasion of the 20th year of the fight against malaria, spearheaded with the Pilipinas Shell Foundation Inc., I would like to extend our profound appreciation and gratitude to PSFI for the many milestones your untiring efforts have produced, specifically the 91% decrease in cases and the 97% decrease in deaths in the Philippines during the period of 1997 to 2017. Palawan in particular has been one of the major beneficiaries of the sustained and dedicated fight to eradicate malaria, with the province almost malaria-free now. One of the direct results of this is the unprecedented growth in our tourist arrivals and tourism receipts in the last 6 years of this administration. From only 300,000 tourist arrivals in 2013, we now have over 2 million arrivals in 2019, which translate to almost $2 billion in tourism receipts. Over the next several years, we hope to have about 6 million tourist arrivals coming from the three major tourism enclaves of Balabac and Brooks Point in the south, San Vicente and El Nido in northern mainland, and Coron, Culion, Busuanga, and Dinapacan in the Calamianes group of islands. Once again, thank you very much, PSFI, for your invaluable contribution in keeping my fellow Palaweños and visitors alike safe from the scourge of malaria. I also take this opportunity to extend the assurance of our high esteem and best regards. Very truly yours, Jose Chavez Alvarez, Governor. Maraming salamat po.
All right, thank you very much. Call here to the front to share with us some remarks. Everybody, please join me in welcoming here PSFI's Deputy Executive Director and Program Manager for the Movement Against Malaria. Please put your hands together for Marvi Trudeau.
Good morning po. When we started this 20 years ago, we had so much an overwhelming concern on the lack of information on malaria and how it should be handled and treated. Now that's way past. And from the start that we in 1999 when we started in Palawan, it is now a nationwide campaign, and we have successfully brought it down. As at the end of 2019, we have now declared 60 provinces malaria-free. 18 provinces have reached zero and are waiting to be declared for malaria-free status. And only 3 are now contributing to the malaria statistics in the Philippines. We think we can handle it. We think we are in the right track so that we can achieve malaria-free Philippines by 2030. We need all of the support of everyone, the local government units in particular, the WHO, and of course our prime partner, the Department of Health. Without them, I don't think we could have achieved any. So I would like to enjoin everybody to continue asking help, to encourage everybody to continue the fight against malaria. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Ms. Marvy. A big hand once again for Ms. Marvy Trudeau. All right, so now that we've heard everything from there, and now's the time that we shed a bit more light on this art installation over here. So please allow me to tell you a little more about this little art piece. Okay, so this whole thing was put together by renowned artist Leroy New just this year, and this is composed of anti-mosquito nets, which, if I'm not mistaken, were actually used in the province to combat the mosquitoes as well. It's also put together with nylon wire and steel, and it's all around encompassing theme is about hope. All right, so this was inspired by one of the key instruments deployed to fight malaria in the Philippines over the last 20 years. Fortress weave together the kulambo, or anti-mosquito nets. In line with advocacy to fight the malaria infection, this artwork was commissioned to symbolize the collaborative effort made towards better public health. It is a fortress that protects both body and peace of mind from the threat of mosquito-borne infections. Now, this artwork was commissioned by the shell companies in the Philippines. So what is an affair like this if not for us to have a ceremonial ribbon cutting as well? So I'd like to invite a few key people here to join me in the front for a ceremonial cutting of the ribbon. So I'd like to invite Vice Governor Socrates also to come here in front. Watch your step, sir. Over here, yes. Over here. I'd also like to invite Mr. Quiñones, Mr. Buenaventura, and Mr. Cesar Romero. Come forward for the unveiling of the forges, please. Remember, please watch your step. Oh, Miss Marvy as well. Please, there's a step there. Baka madapa kayo dyan. All right. All right, please pose for a quick picture. 2, 3, have at it, everybody. There you go. Congratulations. A big hand once again as we officially unveil this art installation to combat malaria here in the Philippines. Thank you very much. The movement against malaria that they will be taking in the coming years. So everybody, please join me in welcoming PSFI's Executive Director. A big hand for Baste Quiñones Jr.
Salamat. It's okay. Okay, maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Magandang umaga po sa kanila lahat. Okay, ako po si Baste Quiñones. I'm the Executive Director of PSFI, the people who actually do the work on the ground. And welcome to all our guests, especially our Vice Governor, because Palawan is a major stakeholder in the movement against malaria. Palawan is where it all started 20 years ago when PSFI launched Team Sanligtas Malaria under the and at that time led by Marvin Trudeau here, Deputy Executive Managing Director and Program Manager. So thank you very much, Marvin. Mamaya, you also have a very unique opportunity because mamaya meron din tayo mga kasama dito. Ang isa sa mga kasama natin talaga in the front line. Malaria si Presi. So mamaya, abangan nyo. Kasi yun ang isang example po ng puso when it comes to dealing with yung mga problema natin dito sa Pilipinas. Okay. So ang PSFI po ay nagsimula 37 years ago. 37 years ago last year, so 38 years now this year. And ito po ay nangyari dahil may coincidence po ng tatlong items. Yung una po ay yung poverty in the Philippines, so this was 1982. So poverty in the Philippines, yung mga komunidad na kailangan ng tulong, at saka ang kapasidad ng Shell para tumulong. So ang ating founding chairman po ay si Cesar Ventura, na nandito po. Maraming po, sir. Hanggang ngayon ay talagang isang napakasigasig at saka napaka-OC na boss, I tell you. Yeah. But nonetheless, you can see the passion of serving through Mr. Ventura, which then flows to all our colleagues. Andito din po ang ating former president of the Shell Complex in the Philippines, Oscar Reyes, who is also the trustee. Maraming salamat po. So, ang ating programa ng PSFI ay sa ngayon, ay really in terms of what are the key activities to movement against malaria. Meron din pong iba. And we have programs in various areas which are aiming to ensure na yung ating mga komunidad ay maging sustainable. So, underprivileged po na group ang aming target para tumulong sa kanila para sila ay matuto na tumindig sa kanilang sarili at maging productive members po ng society. So mula pa noong 37 years ago, ay nagpas na po, mga 3,000 na po mga scholar natin na nag-graduate ng mga programs na kagaya pangalan ay skill or SACA. And sila po ngayon ay very productive members of society. Ganun din po ang ating mga natulungan sa mga programa ng pang-enerhiya. So kagagaling ko pa po sa Palawan noong isang araw sa Maitigen, where we powered up a community in Taytay. This is the 7th community that we powered up, and they now have 24/7 electricity in that particular area. Marami din po kaming livelihood programs. Meron kaming 3 Shell training farms, isa sa Kamsur, isa sa Pilipinas, isa sa El Nido sa Palawan. Doon namin tinuturuan ang mga magsasaka, yung mga latest techniques. Kapartner po namin ang ating Vice Presidente, si Vice President Lenny sa Angat Buhay. Yung campaign po na tumulong sa mga barangay na nasalanta at ngayon po ay umaakon na para maging sustainable. Marami pa din po kami ibang mga programa sa health na aside from po ng, as I said, malaria. Nais ko po ulit sa ito na yung Global Fund for Malaria, TB, and AIDS ay inaward na po sa Pilipinas Shell Foundation ang principal recipient ng grupo for HIV/AIDS. At kami po ang magsisimula ng programa na yan next year. So yun po ay isang napakahalaga din. Inaasahan po namin na ang paglaban namin sa malaria ay ganun din ang mangyayari sa HIV/AIDS. Then finally po, pagdating sa mga tao, kasi ako po as the Executive Director ng PSFI ay what we do po sa aming mga kasama sa ating organisasyon ay to enable them po na para pumunta sa field para talagang makasalimut doon sa mga kasama natin sa barangay. So we have 97 po ng mga empleyado ng PSFI. Lahat po na yun ay puso para talagang tumulong sa ating mga kasama. And hopefully po, we hope that you would support us also in our fight against all the various areas and all the various activities that we're doing to help our country. At aming pong motto to end the fight is sabay-sabay na pagtulong, sama-sama ng pagsulong. Maraming salamat po.
Very much. Big hand for Mr. Quinones, everybody. Alright, thank you very much.
Magandang umaga po sa aming lahat. Ako po pala si Presi Lombe, kasalukuyang nakatira sa Barangay Aripos, Government, Palawan. Sa timog po ng Palawan. Isa po akong volunteer RDP. Sa lugar po namin ay mataas ang kaso ng malaria. Kaya lubos po ako nagpapasalamat na isa po ako sa naimbitahan sa gawain nito upang maibahagi ko po ang aking karanasan bilang isang voluntaryo. Naalala ko po noong mga panahong wala pa pong volunteer RDP sa aming lugar ay yung buong pamilya ko at ako ay nabiktima po ng sakit na ito. At ang pinakamasakit po ay isa po sa aking mga kapatid ang namatay at nawalan ng buhay dahil sa malaria. Ako po mismo ay nasaksihan ko at naranasan ko kung gaano kahirap mabiktima ng sakit na ito. Kaya po ako po mismo ang kusang lumapit sa may mga kinauukulan na makapagsanay po ako bilang RDP volunteer. At sa tindingan po ng aking pagnanais na makatulong upang masugwang sakit na ito, hindi ko po inaakala na magtapuan po ako sa mga pagsasanay na kung tutuusin po ay may mas mataas pa na antas ang mga kasabayan ko sa pagsasanay. At kaya po wala pong kapantay na kasayahan ang aking nararamdaman na makita ko ang aking komunidad na kung dati ay top 1 sa malaria, ngayon po ay top 7 na lang. At kung dati naman po ay maraming na-hospital kaya sa malaria, ngayon po ay halos wala na. Dahil po, ang gabi ay ginagawa po namin araw. Dahil yun lang po yung oras na matatagpuan namin yung mga tao sa oras po ng aming active case surveillance. At kaya po, hindi po namin inaalintana yung hirap at pagod na pag-akyat namin sa mga kasulok-sulukan ng kabundukan para lang pumabot namin sila. Mabigyan ng tulong at hindi na po kailangang ma-hospital pa para doon pa lang ay magamot na po. Kaya po, umasa po kayo na ako bilang isang volunteer worker na hindi po masasayang ang inyong tulong na sinimulan sa Pilipinas Shield Foundation. Mas lalo ko pa pong pag-ipayuhin ang aking pagsisikap sa programang ito na hindi lang po hinto sa aking sarili ang misyong ito. Kung hindi, mahikayat pa po ang iba ko pang katutubong Palawan na kagaya ko sa pangarap sa isang bansang malaya sa malaria. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po. Opinion mo naman, Ms. Francie Lopez. Maraming salamat. Happy kami lahat nandito kayo ngayon. Flew all the way from Palawan to share your experiences, alright? Ilan po, pwede ka na mag-relax muna dyan. Alright? That was a mouthful. Okay, so to take away from what Ms. Francie told us, I'd like to invite everybody to direct your attention towards our screen.
Sa nagpapalakas sa aking may nakikita ako na na-empower, may mga champions mula sa komunidad na nagkakaroon din ng ganito para tulungan yung mga kasama ito. Kasi hindi tayo nagsimula ng anong malaki. Dami yung mga buhay na ikarso. Kaya sumatang yung
I'd like to introduce the artist behind our art installation outside. Finally, he's here with us this morning. A big hand for Mr. Leroy New. He'll be able to give us input on how we can communicate the issue through art so the public can be offered a new perspective. Also with him, please welcome. Alright, and lastly, we have PSFI's Deputy Executive Director and Program Manager for the Movement Against Malaria. You heard from her earlier this morning. A big welcome once again for Ms. Marvi Trudeau. has been fighting malaria since the beginning of the collaborative efforts to talk about PSFI's approach to combating the disease. All right, so now I should turn over the floor to another special MC for this morning. Also with us today is ABS-CBN's business news correspondent to moderate today's discussion. Please welcome the lovely Miss Michelle Ong.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. How's everybody doing? No energy. How's everybody doing? Okay. So I just want to double check if our panel is complete or we're going to write.
All right, so just got a little confirmation. We have one more very special guest here, and we cannot proceed without this very special person. Sorry for omitting you, everybody. Everybody, please give a warm welcome for the Vice Governor of Palau. And a big hand for Mr. Dennis Pacheco.
Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so the world clearly is alarmed over health issues, and today that health issue happens to be the novel coronavirus. Recently named COVID-19, it's actually been dubbed public enemy number 1 by the World Health Organization. Recent check, real-time check in fact, 60,095 cases already confirmed, 1,362 deaths. Clearly, all efforts and resources from both the government and private sector now directed to finding a solution to the novel coronavirus. But hopefully, even with that keeping all of us busy, we don't forget about the other serious diseases that pose serious threats to lives, and that is malaria. At one point, it was actually called a plague. It is caused by single-cell parasites that transmit to humans through insect bites. Most of them are female, and most of the time, pregnant mosquitoes. The World Health Organization estimates that every year there are over 200 million cases of malaria all over the world. Death toll every year, 500,000. So it's a serious problem. Of the 500,000 deaths reported from malaria every year, 90% of them happen in Africa, and most of the victims are children. To put that in context, for every 2 minutes that we spend, 1 child dies of malaria. So let's talk about malaria now. I want to start with Vice Governor Dennis. Sir, the most difficult question I will ask you first. How old are you? How old, sir? Parang binababaan ng volume. How old, sir?
59.
59. So in short, you've seen malaria at its peak, and you've seen its decline. Because malaria to a lot of millennials, like a lot of us here, especially those from Metro Manila, it sounds a bit distant. We don't know how malaria looks like. How does malaria look like? What is the face of malaria for you who have seen it?
From my childhood memory, I was actually a patient. I remember the chills, most of all, and fever in the evening. So, I suppose it's a common experience among my generation, parents, and we are very grateful to I'm here on behalf of our governor, Mr. Charles Alamas, and our region about to we are here basically to express our gratitude to PSFI for your work in practically eradicating malaria from Palau. There are few cases now, but it's always good news to know that millennials haven't heard of malaria. Thank you.
But sir, I want to know, back at that time when you were a patient yourself, were you a child?
I was a child then.
You were a child. What was the impression of people? Did they feel that when you get malaria, death sentence na yan, patay ka na?
In my case, hindi naman gano'n, pero it was rather common. Almost everyone I know, at one time or another, suffered from malaria. Deaths were not so many in my personal field. I imagine in the remoter areas, especially among the people, among the indigenous peoples who live in the mountains, I suppose getting malaria meant a death sentence.
Dr. Gowri, I wanted to ask your expert opinion. How is malaria different from dengue? What is the incubation period? At what time of day does this specific mosquito bite you and infect you? What are the symptoms? What is the mortality rate?
Okay, let me start with dengue because in the Philippines, every year we are encountering high number of dengue cases. The worrying number for me is deaths due to dengue in this country, mainly among children 5 to 9 years old. So dengue is caused by a virus which has 4 subtypes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So from January 1st to up to date, say up to yesterday, there are around 16,000 cases with 45 deaths in this country. And I'm a little bit worried that 45 deaths is among children. And then type 3 is more prevalent. So type 3 we didn't have many years. So I'm worried because we don't, Philippine norms, we don't have immunity for that. So this is not the season for dengue because we feel cold in the morning and cold weather. Actually, the usual pattern is we see the dengue cases with the rainy season. But now we have started seeing dengue cases. This is not unique to Philippines. The same thing is happening in the Western Pacific regions. For example, in Singapore, you know very well they have a very tight, very strong dengue control program. In spite of that, they are getting cases even now. But the only difference is the death is near zero. That is it. So if you get one virus, dengue, this time, it doesn't mean you are protected against the next 3 times. So it means you can get it. So dengue mosquito bite during daytime, 7 to 10 a.m., 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. So that is where the problem, schooling, we are all working at that time. The contrast to dengue, the malaria is a parasite. And we have 4 human parasites and 1 zoonotic at the moment in the world. In Philippines, mainly 2 parasites are prevalent, but other 2 also we can see lesser percentage. Mosquito in Philippines and the malaria mosquito bite night, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. So that is exactly problem in the southern Palawan, among indigenous population. Sometimes they do night activities. They go to a common place outside to see TV or any other. So that is the problem.
And what is the mortality rate for malaria? What are the symptoms? Very similar to dengue, I imagine.
Dengue is a viral disease, so as I told you, it's joint pain, red eyes. So it's very similar. But malaria, I think Vice Governor explained chills and rigors. But now, over the years, the symptoms has changed. So it's maybe we can harbor malaria parasite now, even we don't symptomatic. So that is the problem. So incubation period vary between parasites, but usually it's 1 to 14 days.
Ma'am Marby, you've done work in Palawan for the last 20 years. Congratulations! 20 years for movement against malaria. Everybody, a round of applause. So in 2009, you guys got funding from the Global Fund for against AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. What do you think caught their attention? What were you doing that caught their attention to give you nearly $32 million? And over the last 20 years, what has Shell Foundation concretely done to eradicate malaria in Palawan?
I think let me put it qualifying. I don't think it is purely a Shell project. The efforts that we use to support the National Malaria Program of the Department of Health. So it is still the national program of the Department of Health. Also, we did not receive the funds only in 2009. We started receiving the funds in 2006. So we started the malaria program in 1999 in Palawan. But in 2005, the WHO, together with the Global Fund officers, came to Palawan and saw how, in their words, sophisticated our program is in Palawan. Because when we started in 1999, we made sure that all of the barangays that are endemic to malaria had a microscopy center. So, not knowing the real situation on malaria was a big gray area to us. And for us to be able to actually find out how big is the problem, we wanted to make sure that all of the barangays have the capacity to diagnose and to treat malaria right away. And so when you do it that way, then you are able to figure out how big is the problem and how are we going to do it. And when you have that figure, we were able to treat it quickly. When a person who lives in the far-flung areas or the hinterlands have to go to the poblacion just to have themselves treated, then you know you have lost to treatment already. And malaria, if you're not treated right away, can be fatal. In 3 days, you're not treated, it can be fatal. So when you are able to bring the diagnosis closer to the communities, then you are able to diagnose the patient and treat them quickly. And so we came from an estimate because we did not really know the numbers. The estimate then was 78,000 Palaweños who were having malaria annually. And so, and then when we finished all of the microscopy centers in place, we found out it was still over 40,000. So 40,000 cases a year is still a lot of number in one province. And so from there, in 2005, when they arrived, there was already a 65% decrease in cases just by doing what we have done and by introducing all of the massive education that had to be done. Because people did not know that the malaria was being transmitted by a mosquito. People thought that, eating pineapple in an empty stomach would cause malaria. Or something like that. Drinking buko would cause malaria. And therefore there is a need for a massive information system so that people understood what the malaria problem is and how it is treated and how it should be prevented.
Aside from the microscopy centers that you set up, you also distributed special kulambos.
Yes.
Tell us about these treated mosquito nets.
Okay, when the
10 million of them, right? 10 million distributed.
Yes, over 10 million distributed over these years. When we were given the first grant of the Global Fund in 2006. From 2006, the first grant was actually $14.3 million. And to this date, after the last grant, we have a cumulative grant of about $102 million. And this was done and implemented in the whole country. And so, the biggest and the principal intervention was the mosquito net. As Gauri said, the mosquitoes of malaria bite in the evening, from 6 o'clock, basically until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And so, it's okay when you're awake and you can shoot the mosquitoes and probably kill them, but when you're asleep, then they're feasting on you. And so you have to protect the person from being bitten by the mosquito so that the mosquito cannot transmit the parasite to another person. And basically, that's the main ingredient of the success of the program.
Very curious question from a consumer side. Would off lotion help?
Yes. But how do you can use off lotion, but you have to reapply every 4 hours. So when you're asleep, you will not wake up and start reapplying, right? So, and You know, it was sticky. The uploads now are much better. But, you know, in 1999, we started using an upload. It's hot, it's sticky, and you really don't want to leave it.
Okay, so I want to talk to Leroy now. Congratulations on the fortress. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Please create that. So, Leroy, from an outsider's perspective, like myself, I'm not into looking at the deeper meaning of art, really, not an artist. But looking at your body of work, it appears like you focus on designs, at least in my case, stuff that my nightmares are made of. Goosebumps inducing, thorny, slimy looking designs. Was that the same treatment that you put or used in the fortress?
Well,
sci-fi looking.
Yeah, my forms are inspired a lot by, I guess, fantastical forms, sci-fi themes and motifs. But I'm also particularly obsessed with materials, different materials, and I experiment a lot with materials. It just so happens that the forms that they take are a bit out of this world. But I guess that's part of the idea. Like, I take familiar objects, like mosquito nets, for example, and kind of re-apply them on a different scale. In this case, a monumental scale, to kind of commemorate the effectivity and the significant ways in which these tools were used to almost obliterate or significantly decrease the malaria cases in Palawan. And I was particularly excited that I got to use actual nets that were used that actually possibly saved lives. You know, these medicated nets. When I got them, they were still torn, they were like holes. They were actually really, it was like they came from battle. And it was kind of an honor to actually work with these and to give them a proper stage. You know, you don't realize the amount of work it took to install pipes just to hang a few bullet holes. You know, but it was for me, it was like a worthy effort.
Definitely a conversation starter. Very important conversations. Whenever we talk about malaria, it's always with a sense of fear. But you know what they say? We fear because we do not know. At least not everything. So at this point, I want to talk about the cure, some of the vaccines that are in the pipeline. And I want to talk about a Chinese lady called Tu Youyou. Tu Youyou is actually from mainland China. She won the 2015 Nobel Prize for Medicine for her work on Chinese traditional medicine using herbs to cure malaria. She actually used woodworm, sweet woodworm, extracted rather, a substance called artemisinin, which inhibits the malaria parasite. So here it was, I googled woodworm, and guess what? What was Google's top suggestion? Palawan. It turns out that, sir, I need you to confirm this, that woodworm is talimok. Talimok in Palawan, a very famous appetizer in Palawan and Aklan. The cure apparently is in your backyard. Sir, are we aware of this?
It's the first time I heard about it. Talimok was a seasonal value.
At least that's what the Nobel Prize winner says. But maybe we can collaborate on something with that, because it's very abundant in your place. Ma'am Marty, I want to ask, is it true that we can detect malaria using smartphones and artificial intelligence?
We tried.
Tell us about this.
Well, we wanted to make sure that we use all of the technologies that are available. And we know that because it's such a far-flung area, we are going into the bundoks and the like. We wanted to veer away from using microscopes because it's very hard to carry them. And so in one of our study moments, we wanted to make a phone that will become the microscope of the volunteers. We went into a scenario because the efficiency of the rapid diagnostic test, we have a volunteer here, came out so quickly, and the efficiency and the sensitivity of the rapid diagnostic test is so high that it was so easy to use rather than bringing in a microscope. So yes, we were looking into it, but that's something of the past.
So what's the thing of the future now? What innovations are you looking at? Innovative solutions?
Okay, the challenges that we have, we are now in the last 3 provinces. We have Sultan Kudarat with 2 cases. We have Mindoro Occidental with 4 cases. And we have Palawan with over 5,000 cases. It's far from the 78,000, but it's still the biggest. And our concern is that we are really now into the hinterlands. This is a literal walk to about 3 hours going up the mountains. And our volunteers and project officers are there most of the time. And so what is it that we lack? I think there is a gap because people do not sleep under the nets at 6 o'clock this evening. So people actually sleep under the nets at about 9 o'clock. So the biking time is from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 6. So there's that gap. And as I said, so we also tell people to wear long sleeves and but how do you tell that to an indigenous person who are in their G-strings, who are barely wearing anything, right? And so our innovation that's upcoming is to give them the heat bands. We're producing the heat bands for the arms and for the anklets so that we can protect them from the bite of the mosquito. Hopefully, it's in that operational research mode. And then we are also looking at other chemicals for the IRS, inter-residual spraying, that might be used so that it can supplement and complement the use of the mosquito.
Yes, Dr. Howard?
Just one addition. This is not in the pipeline that we already started. That using the giant mosquito nets. That is a success story in people gathering areas in the southern Palawan, especially in Rizal and Sudan. So I have seen it, and where the people gather because they don't go to sleep at 6 p.m. right? So this is one of the ways. It's a huge, like this roadside.
Dr. Gowrie, just to be clear, there is no vaccine yet for malaria. I know there's one being tested by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation worked on a certain vaccine. It's called TRS, but it's only being tested in I think 3 African countries. What's the latest on that, and how soon will that be available to countries like the Philippines?
Yes, 2 things I want to tell about because I involved in this, the vaccine. This vaccine works only for falciparum. Because I told you that there are 4 human parasites, so it works only for 1. This vaccine is exclusively for African countries because this species is more prevalent in Africa and more children are dying from malaria. So when you produce a vaccine, the 4 stages you have to pass, starting from production. So the last stage is social marketing and the final testing. So it has been done in 3 countries, Kenya, DRC Congo and Nigeria as a pilot testing. And this is for only children, 5 to 16 years old. However, as of now, the research shows that this is not to give you 100% protection, but it prevents the deaths. So there's 2 different things. You still can get malaria because we are aiming to reduce the deaths in Africa. So this is just the thing. So if somebody asks from this forum, is that, I will say no. First of all, as Ma'am said it is just 5,000 cases in southern Palawan in 3 municipalities, right?
Yes.
And this is the remarkable success story in the Philippines. You have reported only 2 deaths for last year. So you
And one of them is
imported case.
imported case.
Imported case. The Filipino who came from abroad and got the disease. So why you want the vaccine? You don't. There's no indication here, right? And falciparum, although it's higher percentage prevalence, but clearly I don't see a room for vaccine introduction to this matter.
So when someone contracts malaria, the medicines that we have here would address the symptoms,
Yes.
not malaria itself.
No, it will remove the parasite.
The parasite.
If you use the medicine properly and you finish the entire dose,
Mhm.
you will actually remove the parasite from the body.
I see. And Vice Gov, for the indigenous peoples of Palawan, do you still encounter some of them who refuse to see the doctor for malaria, who believe in albularyo to cure this? Some even think this is a curse for their families.
I'm not sure, but I think it's not so much a refusal to see the doctor as the lack of access, total lack of access. Many of our indigenous peoples are in fact not accounted for in the censuses. So one of the initiatives of the governor recently was to go out of the go up the mountains and really make an account of these indigenous peoples.
Leroy, I want to ask you now, do you plan to use this art, your gift for art, in other advocacies? And perhaps if we ask you to design an installation for AIDS, what or how would that installation look like? I'm going to give you a few minutes. Hold your thought. We'll get back to you. We're now going to the next round of questions, and this is for everybody. I guess I want to know, can you imagine a world without mosquitoes? Should we even imagine that world? Or do we risk destroying the ecological balance? Because if you look at the list of the mosquito-borne diseases, it's a long list. Dengue, malaria, Zika, chikungunya, and the list goes on. So they're really enemy number one as well. But I'm sure in the circle of life, they serve some purpose. So can you imagine a world, should the goal be a world without mosquitoes? Or is that dangerous ground for all of us? Anyone can answer this question.
Maybe I will go because this is my 20, I won't tell you my age, but this is my 25 years of doing malaria, all mosquito-borne diseases. No, I won't imagine a world without mosquitoes. We need mosquitoes, as you said, to keep the ecology balance. And we are not eliminating mosquitoes in the world, not even malaria mosquitoes. Right? So that is the for sure. But then maybe you have seen the word elimination of malaria. Then you will find what is it. So we are planning to eliminate the parasites in the patient's body. Because suppose this room, we are all free of parasites, and I am going to discharge malaria mosquitoes here. Right? So what? Maybe a little bit painful, the bite, but that mosquito won't have anything because we are all free of parasites. And then I will discharge the same mosquito out, they are not going to transmit because no parasites. So that is the elimination.
Anyone else would like to take that question?
I think one of the shibboleths of our time is biodiversity. And I think there's a consensus globally, all of us here also, that we don't want any creature to become extinct. And that being the case, I think the approach should be more towards along the line of protecting humans, immunizing them, and maybe even developing cures, rather than eliminating the carrier, the creature that carries the parasite, or not even the parasite itself, like the oxalics.
Okay, entomology or the study of the insect mosquitoes is part of the component of the malaria program. And we actually pick up and get mosquitoes so that we can understand their behavior and the like. But I will second the discussion of Gaudi in the fact that if the people are clean of the parasite, then there is nothing that the mosquitoes can transmit. And so our aim is to make sure that everybody is rid of all of the parasite. And so our biggest concern is that our indigenous people, our brothers, are actually carriers of the mosquitoes. They have, they were able to get by even if they are parasite infected. And so they walk around and not having the symptoms, and so the mosquitoes bite them. And so we're after them. We're looking at the last man standing with the with the malaria parasite. And if we can clean that, then I can be certain that the Philippines will be malaria.
Leroy?
Regarding
mosquito-free world?
Other question? Yeah, no, I mean, I guess for me, it makes basic sense to believe that, you can't eliminate any one species. So, yeah, I'm sure they serve a purpose in the scheme of things. I'm sure we're the parasite for some of these species. So,
For some other creature we might
we've been the cause of extinction
exactly.
for a lot of species, so,
Vice Governor, I wanted to ask you, we can't eliminate mosquitoes from the world, but definitely we can eliminate malaria. Earlier in your speech, you read the speech from the governor, and he said Palawan is almost malaria-free. What else do you need in the final leg, in the final stretch, before you hit that finish line, for you to make it to the finish line?
We hope that PSFI and Luzon plus Malaria will do its work and reach the 100% 2030 deadline for making malaria free totally. And towards that end, I'd like to express also our appreciation beyond even the issue of malaria. This experience in PSFI and Luzon government, Luzon because Malaria. For us, it's also a evidence of sorts of the possibility of involving everyone in the community, not just government, not just the private sector, but everyone concerned is part of this. But we give special thanks to PSFI and
I wanted to ask this to Ma'am Marvy and Doc Valerie. What are the chances of backsliding on this goal? Because last year we saw the reemergence of polio, which was extinct for 19 years. Here it is again. So what are the chances?
There is actually a big threat because we do a lot of exporting of our labor. And then they come home and they go to malarious areas and then they come home and are not aware that they carry the parasite. And so the government now has a very big program on tracking and also engaging the agencies involved in the OFWs to ensure that they are aware of the disease, and so that they come home, they don't bring the disease back to their loved ones and to the country. Reintroduction is always a possibility, and so the surveillance system of the governments are very important. All of the local government units are enjoined to look at their surveillance, not just for malaria, but for all of the diseases. Because anything that we've already brought down, if you just let it go and without any surveillance, then it will surely come back as the quality. And so this is something that we learned, the resurgence of polio. It's an awakening for all of us at the malaria program. And so we are bringing up the surveillance quite higher to ensure that this does not happen.
Doc Valerie?
Oh, yes. I always tell this. We are sitting on a time bomb. So, if you relax your control activities, it will come out. I can give you a few examples from the world. Almost near eliminated, but due to many reasons, it has come out. Starting from Venezuela, Argentina, Mauritius, Algeria, Zanzibar, and my own country. 1968, it eliminated malaria, but within 2 years, it came up with 400,000 cases. So this is the body. 78 provinces reporting zero malaria in this country. So the provincial government, they are enjoying this, no malaria. But as Mark said, we need to be very vigilant. Surveillance should be enhanced. 10 million Filipinos are working abroad. Majority are in African countries. In Africa, there are a lot of malaria. And most of the Filipinos, they pass NCR. They land here, all major cities. So that is the government, and they are doing a lot to enhance the surveillance.
Hi, before we go to Q&A, just want to go back to Leroy. Your installation for AIDS, because we heard earlier that the next project of Pilipinas Shell Foundation will be to tackle AIDS. How would an installation about AIDS look like?
I actually have done work for an NGO advocating for education about HIV and AIDS. It was a traveling theater show, and I did an inflatable or like a compressible set made out of fabric too, actually, spandex, which resembled the virus. So, and I think that's an effective way to travel art and educate people at the same time, because listening from these experts, education and information, access to information is the best defense to these diseases. Colombo is just merely a tool, but how it is used, how it's implemented, how it's disseminated is really the key.
So my answer would be a traveling inflatable installation set that teaches in theater form these insights about these diseases.
Sounds exciting. So now we open the floor to questions. Do we have questions from the audience? Okay. We see. Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Yes. Please introduce yourself and direct your question to whoever you'd like to answer.
Hi, good morning. Aloy from Lifestyle Manila. Since we're trying to limit the presence of mosquitoes, are these plants that you use for household effective enough to repel those mosquitoes? I know my mom used to put a plant that smells something really weird, and does it really help? Is it that accurate enough?
Well, actually, some plants repel insects, and some plants repel mosquitoes. Citronella, for example, repel mosquitoes, right? But those do not actually are, how do I say, they are effective to repel, but not all the time. So it's not 100% repel, right? So you still get them and they still land at you, and if they're carrying the malaria parasite, then they still have the malaria parasite at you. So depending on the time and on how you use it, if it's indoor, I think it's more effective. If it's outdoors, it's less effective. So that's so what plants do, they have some level of repellent characteristics.
And in Philippines, I have observed neem plant, neem leaves, neem trees, and cashew, burning of cashew shells, cashew nut shells. Can affect you, but commercially available mosquito coil, I don't want to promote it because you will have more respiratory problem than mosquito, the malaria.
Okay, that's a different thing. The fogging is actually being done to kill the mature mosquitoes. So if you kill the mature mosquitoes, in 3 days, there's the larva mosquitoes have grown up to be. So if you kill it, it's effective for that day, or maybe 2 days. But after that, then the larva mosquitoes will grow. So the fogging is only used for killing mature mosquitoes, and this is why it is effectively used when you have an outbreak of dengue, because that's the one that you want to do. But for the malaria mosquitoes, we use the inter-residual spray, and the way to do this is that the inter-residual spray stays effective for 4 to 6 months. And the habit of the mosquitoes is that they rest before they bite and they rest after they bite. So if you have a wall and you see the mosquitoes that are on the wall, they're probably malaria mosquitoes.
Okay, any more questions? Yes, sir.
You mentioned earlier that early detection is crucial or important to malaria. But you also mentioned that malaria is sometimes symptomless or
Yes.
asymptomatic. So how do we reconcile that?
Okay. There are asymptomatic cases in areas that are far-flung because it's developed some form of immunity. When you're always being bitten, you develop some form of immunity. However, if you go out of that environment, you go to Manila, for example, then you will suddenly feel the fever and because you don't have that immunity anymore. So for people that are in the areas, there is some level of immunity, but that's the other challenge that we have in dealing with the last 5,000. But basically, when you don't want people to get really sick or die, then at the slight fever, at the sign of a slight fever, and you know that you came from a malarious area, then you should get yourself tested and be treated. Treatment is easy, 3 days and you're free of malaria, 3 to 14 days depending on the strain.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, I'm Margie, the woman and visual. What has been the biggest challenge in the fight against malaria, and how did you deal with it?
Okay, there were many challenges. The first challenge to us was the seemingly no awareness on malaria. And so when people are saying that you can have malaria by eating pineapple in an empty stomach or drinking buko, then you know that the level of awareness was so low. And so how did we overcome that? We had to have massive information drive. Schools, mother's class, any way we could, posters, radio plots, we did everything that we can to ensure that people were aware of the disease. As we go on, then the problem of how do you handle going to Sulu and Nautaw, the areas that were high in malaria but had very high security problems. And so we had to do a lot of collaboration with existing NGOs that are there, with the military, and even with the people that we were scared of, because we had to make sure that they don't touch us when we help them, when we help the community. And the last challenge that we have is this challenge on the last 5,000 cases, which is in Rizal and Southern Palawan. Because they're all indigenous, and they're 90% indigenous, and the area is really hard on transportation. There are no roads. We have to trek 3 hours to go to these areas. Then bringing the services to these people is really a challenge, and we do what we can.
Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon, Rosel, SavisTribal.com. I'm just wondering if the people working in Malampaya, although it's offshore, should they be worried of contracting the malaria? Since, or what are the measures taken by Shell to make sure that the people working in Malampaya will not be...
Okay, 20 years ago, yes, they should be worried because Puerto Princesa then also had a very high incidence of malaria. And anyone that goes to Malampaya have to go through Puerto Princesa, right? So 20 years ago, yes, they should be worried. And they were given the correct orientation and prevention. And of course, we had this project. And so if they had anyone that got sick of malaria, we would have treated them on the spot. But now, I don't think we have that problem at all, or concerns. Puerto Princesa and most of Palawan are almost without malaria.
I'd have to thank Matt for connecting the dots for us. Basically, this explains why Shell considers Palawan like home, because a lot of your projects are off Palawan are based there. Any more questions? Yes, sir. We don't have much time, so this could be our last question.
For Shell, what is it about Malaria that Shell is only focusing on this particular disease?
Okay, when we started, because we started 20 years ago when Malampaya was just starting, so that was the yes. It was the biggest concern of the host province, which was Palawan. It was the strongest and the longest scourge of the province. And so, I think it's a shared value of Shell to be good neighbors. If we have the means to help them during the time when they did not know anything about the disease, then we were there to assist them. And you know, it went from just being Palawan to the entire Philippines. Are we happy about this? Oh yes, we are. We're happy about the success, and we're happy about, you know, helping the country reach this level of malaria in the Philippines. Of course, again, we would not have done it without the help of all of the local government units, the Department of Health, the WHO, and the vast fundings that we got from the UN.
What can we expect from Shell Foundation in the next 10 years as you move towards 2030 goal of a malaria-free Philippines? Are you going to change some strategies moving forward?
I think we will just be more aggressive. I mean, the strategies are something that has been accepted, and I think all of the strategies are working. But we have to be more aggressive in looking for the last man standing with malaria, and we have to engage all of the local government units to be more vigilant, because as we all discussed, it can recur. And if we're not vigilant, then all of the things that we've done over the last 20 years will be erased.
One last question from the audience.
For Dr. Gowry, how is the Philippines faring in terms of like a global effort in stamping out this disease? And it's still 5,000, I think, confirmed cases. Is malaria-free Philippines still possible in the next 10 years?
I won't be biased because most of the time I consider myself as a Filipino also. But anyway, I will give you my frankly true idea. First, yes, Philippines is on the correct track. When you compare with other countries, let's compare with the Western Pacific regional countries. After China, Philippines is the second country aiming for it. China almost now 2 years reported 0 cases, but unfortunately this COVID-19 virus came, so we are not sure about that. And we are aiming Philippines, Malaysia, and South Korea. But out of these 3 countries, Philippines is the, now I can say, first country aiming for it, and we can do it. Although the government target is 2030 to eliminate, I I think with the Shell, the DOH, and all the people we can do before that. Right? So, one more challenge I want to add, the lady who asked here. The Philippines is the victim of its own success. Because 78 provinces no malaria. But all these provincial councils, LGOs, they have to maintain that situation. So that is where we need advocacy. That includes political advocacy and support from all partners to maintain this status.
I just want a clarification for Ma'am Marvy. The nets that you distribute are specially treated nets.
Yes.
So not only do mosquitoes are mosquitoes unable to enter, but they die after they try. There are efforts, just one question, there are efforts around the world to be innovative to try to get rid of the mosquitoes. One in Brazil, I read, they're doing genetically modified mosquitoes, where the male mosquitoes, when they mate, the offspring automatically become sterile, so the population does not grow. Is that something that could be done in countries like the Philippines?
It's not in my work plan. It's not in my work plan, and I really defer to the World Health Organization for guidance.
So, it's a genetically modified mosquitoes. I started doing it in my own country as a pilot testing, but all the environmental people was opposing it, so I have to abandon it. Okay, let me tell you the technical things here. Extremely difficult to do the sterilization of the mosquitoes with the radiation. In this country, as far as I know, you don't have nuclear reactors or anything here. It's extremely difficult. And it's a thousand of mosquitoes we need to release to the environment. Nobody has done a study in a big scale, only in the laboratory, how it is going to impact the environment. So, I'm not saying that this is not going to be an effective way. Maybe in the future, with more research coming in, with more trials, more pilot testing, maybe who knows, one fine day we can try it, but I really hope before that we can eliminate malaria.
Okay, I think we're ready to close the panel discussion. One last round of questions for all the panelists. I'm going to make you choose whether you want to answer the question for art or science. Please tell me who wants to take the art question first. Leroy, who else? Science. So art. So all three will take the science questions. And this is answerable by just 2 sentences at most, so keep it short. For the one who took art, what is the role of art in the science of disease prevention? And what is the role of science in the art of coexistence? 2 sentences. This is your Miss Universe moment.
Well, I was supposed to choose which question?
Just answer the question. What is the role of art in the science of disease prevention? And what is the role of science in the art of coexistence?
Role of science in the art of coexistence. For the first question, art has always tried to serve the issues of the day, the cause of the day, and I believe this is a good example of how art can enlighten people and bring attention to a specific cause that is quite still of consequence today. And secondly, the second question.
The role of science in the art of coexistence.
The art of coexistence. Well, science has always aimed to enlighten people, and enlightenment brings inclusivity and harmony. I feel, we reject unfounded biases and prejudices because of science. So, yeah.
Okay, that was more than 2 sentences, but okay.
Sorry.
For everybody else,
I forgot that rule.
okay, so for everybody else, diseases evolve with time. Knowing what you know now and based on your experience, how do you 2 sentences.
We will see more diseases, we call it non-communicable disease, that is cardio heart diseases, hypertension, more lifestyle related diseases than infectious disease, dengue and malaria.
Marty?
I think actually that there will be more communicable diseases because of the presence of all of the airplanes, jets. People are moving, so there's going to be more of the infections.
Advice, Bob?
I think science will continue to be a position to cure many of the existing physical diseases. So I think science centers in the future, diseases will be more spiritual, having to more psychology and human person.
On that note, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.